Alrighty, Carter. Hope you're doing well, man. Just kind of wanted to recap after our lesson today. Talk about this video that I have with you with Max Scherzer, who's pictured below, and then you on top. Just kind of compare your mechanics. Talk about kind of what our goals are, and then as well, kind of where we're going to be going for the next steps and the next few lessons. So, with that being said, I want to play these both back to back, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, so as we talked about, right, during our lesson, we determined that you were a driver, right? If we see the similarity, we see first movement, everything goes to the ground, right? If you notice, Max Scherzer with everything goes to the ground, right? So that was our big first step, was taking this arm here and bringing that down to the ground, right? Because what we're trying to do is we're trying to be as efficient as possible with our entire mechanics, right? If we bring our arm down, if we work through everything and we work using ground force, just like how a driver would, that's going to allow us to get to have the most output in our pitch, or per pitch rather. So that was the first thing that we worked on, was that. I actually really like your load here. I think it's a really good load. You keep everything right down the middle, which is really good up to this point. We're driving through with our bottom half, which I really like. The big thing for you, as we talked about as well today in our lesson, is this portion right here. When we get into block position, you'll notice when you get into block position, you heel strike first, which causes your knee to lock like this, right? And then when we move forward, what happens is that we don't have anything to kind of catapult ourselves up and over and through to gain that last bit of oomph, right? So I want you to take a look real quick at Max Scherzer on the bottom here. Take a look at him, right? So he gets here, and you notice his heel strike, or rather his foot strike, is right there, right? Which causes him to be completely flat foot, right? Which allows him, with this front leg when he's coming through, to extend it fully to where his body then becomes like a catapult, if you will, and which allows his torso to come through and to finish out in front, right? Outside of that, I really like our mechanics, right? You have really good arm action, Carter, for your age specifically. The big thing too is getting to that bear position when we get right here. We talked about last time how our arm was kind of pushing through just a tad, right? Instead of where it stays here and then it kind of drops below our shoulder right there and we kind of push. But then you do a really good job of kicking it up just in that frame. Take a look how much you kick it up, right? And we get really good layback. So that's a really good start for us, Carter, in terms of, what we're looking for in the future, right? That's going to really play well for us as we continue to work together. The biggest thing, though, and we'll continue to talk about it, and what we talked about in today's lesson with that foot strike, is thinking about, kind of sliding in, if you will. The other ways that we've thought about is, trying to, point your foot whenever you're in this position right here. Instead, as you can see, of pointing your foot up, we're going to point it down to where, just like this, just like Max Scherzer right here, right? So that forces that foot to be in a downward position to try and land flat foot, okay? So those are our big things to continue to work on. But overall, I really like our mechanics and where we're at. The good news is once we get that foot strike down, because we actually have really good hip-shoulder separation, because we are right there, and our hips have gone, but our shoulders haven't, which is really good. Or rather, at this point, we're starting to go. So I like that. I think we can actually close our shoulders just a tad bit more. But I think overall, I like our mechanics overall. So I think it's a really good base. But the big thing, like we talked about, is that foot strike. And we'll continue to work on that. But after we get that down, that's when we're going to be able to start going into our arsenal and our command and control, and really start getting into the tedious things and the fun, intricate things of pitching and how we become a better pitcher. How do we get more bite on our pitches? How do we get more outs as a pitcher? So really good stuff, Carter. Really excited to continue to work with you. Keep working hard, and we'll see you next time.